Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, so that'll be fun. Okay, yeah. So let's carry on with spanning tree. So yesterday we're talking about the evolution of layer two, how it went
Yeah,
from
we stopped at the the states,
yeah, the state of
the
spanning tree.
listening learning, these
Yeah,
states. Yeah.
yeah. Okay. So now when again we just to reiterate what we mentioned yesterday. So we discussed that the main reason why we need spanning tree in today's network is because we have redundancies. And then we mentioned that the main difference between unmanaged switches and managed switches, what's the main difference again between unmanaged
Well,
and
the
managed?
main difference was in the features, right?
Exactly, yeah,
The
the features. So that's like what makes them different. And the managed switches support like lots of features that the unmanaged switches don't support. And we said one of them is what? Said spanning tree. Which other one? Which other one did we mention yesterday? Do you remember any other one?
no,
The features that we can get on
yeah,
managed
yeah,
switch.
it's about preventing loops.
Yeah. So we have spanning tree. So which other features do we have on managed switches?
Ah, we have VLANs,
VLANs, yeah.
we have the port security, and we have the
Exactly.
quality of service we talked about so much.
Yeah, nice one. Nice one, man. Yeah, we have quality of service. And we have loads and loads and loads and loads more features. Actually, this is like just so if you have the chance, just Google Cisco switch features and you see loads of features that they support.
Yeah, yeah, there are a lot of things. Yeah.
So that's the main difference between these and their managed switches. So now in an enterprise, for example, um, we have our switches. So let's say like this like the switches that we've got. Um, so these are switches. So again, we connect this one to this one, right? This one goes here, and this one connects to this guy here. So now we have a loop. So we say how does spanning tree operate? Is that the first thing that will happen is that it will send BPDUs, right? Out
Yeah.
from every port. And what is inside the BPDU? What are the content of the BPDU?
Well, it contains a lot of things, including the switch ID, its priority and MAC address, and a lot of other information. Yeah.
Yeah, switch ID, MAC address. Which other information? Switch ID, MAC address. What else?
The priority and
Priority.
the port it came from,
Mm-hmm. What else?
uh, the port that sent it.
The port that sent it. Yeah. What else?
Mm, I looked it up yesterday, so let me remember
Hello time,
and the cost and the cost.
cost. What else?
No, that's the five main things I looked at.
Yeah. Forward delay. So basically, if you want to see the what the BPDU looks like, just go here, type show spanning tree, and let's go show spanning tree, and there you go. This is what it looks like. So we got our priority. We have a MAC address. We have our cost. We have the ports that it came from. We have the load time. We have the maximum age. We have the forward delay. So this is what is contained inside the BPDU. Now, um, by default, by default, where will this switch send BPDU out from?
By default, what?
So this switch, by default, so we've not changed anything on this switch. So we said it will send
Yeah,
BPDU out of this link, right? So out
right.
of which port will this switch send BPDU out from by default? So again, let me
Well,
yeah, carry on.
well, all the ports, I think.
All the ports. Are you sure?
Well, I know that PBDUs are sent in a multicast form.
Yeah. So you're sure that, okay, so I have a brand new Cisco switch. I've not
No, no,
done.
I'm not sure about anything.
No, no, it's all right. No, actually, you're right. You're right. But I just wanted you to be sure. So by default, if you've not done anything to this switch will send BPDU out of every single port that is connected. So you connect a switch to it, it will send BPDU out, right? You connect a
Yeah,
PC
right.
to it, it will send BPDU out of that port. So by default, it will send BPDU out of every single port on the switch. Now, in an enterprise, do we really want a switch to send BPDU out of every port? Do we?
Uh, I suppose.
Why? Why do you think so? Why would we want it to send BPDU out of every port?
So, to detect the loops,
Says so. Shehab says to detect loops. What other reason? What other reason?
nah, that's it, right.
Yeah. So actually, this is wrong. The real
Yeah,
answer is we don't want BPDUs to go out of every port on a switch. We don't. Because think about it. Now, what's the purpose of BPDUs? To elect our root bridge, right? To build our spanning tree topology, right? That's the purpose. So the purpose of BPDUs is to build our spanning tree topology, right? Is-
well, it builds it and maintains it.
Yeah, to build it and to maintain it. Yeah, that's right. To build and maintain the spanning tree topology. So if you let's say we have a PC connected here. Yeah, Control Z. So let's go line. So is this PC that is connected to this port, is this PC ever going to be a part of your spanning tree topology?
No.
No,
Yeah,
never.
yeah,
You
yeah.
know,
I
it will
get
ne
where I'm going to.
it will never be a part of your spanning tree topology ever. So you definitely don't want it to be sending BPDUs out of this port because that can even be a security risk. Why can that be a security risk?
Well, you are sending the switch information.
Exactly. And when you're sending information, what can happen? A guy over there can have something called Wireshark, right?
Yeah.
Or TCP dump, and just capture all the information. And every hacker will tell you this that 50% of the battle is gathering information about the existing network. Yeah. So if you can gather as much information as possible about the network, you can know what to attack, you know? So you
Yeah.
don't want this one. Then the other reason. So what other reason do you think we won't want this port to be sending out BPDUs? What other reason? Think about it. What other reason?
So we send PVDUs out to the ports connected to switches only.
Yeah, as in, so why won't we want to send it out of a port that's connected to a PC? Why? What's the reason?
Well, because he could sniff the switch information.
Yeah, that's one reason. So what other reason do you think?
Well, it will
Look at this.
crowd the network.
Look at this situation. Look at this situation here. So we have a switch and a PC, right? So let's connect
Yeah,
this PC. Let's connect it to this switch. Now look at this. It's orange, right?
yeah,
Okay. So let's do this together. So let's go to options. Let's view our port label. Um, yeah. So that's fastest and 0, 1. So that's orange. And if I go here, um, okay, let me expand this a bit. Preferences, font. Let's make this 16 to apply. Okay, so let's click on the switch here. So you can see the switch, right?
Yeah, I see.
Okay, let's expand it. Enable show spanning tree. Yeah. Um, show IP and pay. Okay. Show spanning tree VLAN 1. Okay. So look at this. So let's go over this again. So let's take this cable. Let's disconnect this cable. Now let's plug this cable back in, and then let's bring up our switch. So let's go. Look at this. Can you see the state? Listening, right?
Yeah.
What is it listening for? What is it listening to?
Well, it's listening for the PVDUs.
Exactly. It's listening for BPDUs. Will you ever get the BPDU out of that port? Learning.
No, it will never get.
Exactly. So it's going to spend 30 seconds, waste 30 seconds before this PC can connect.
Oh,
So that
now I get
yeah,
I
so
get what you're saying.
that's the
Yeah.
other reason. So if you have to go wait 15 seconds in listening for something that will never come, it's going to wait another 15 seconds to learn, you know? But let's say we go here and let's say we go um conft and let's go no spanning tree. So let's turn off spanning tree completely for VLAN 1. Yeah, completely. So spanning tree is gone. Let's close there, then let's plug it back. Look at that. Instantly, it's green, right?
Yeah.
It doesn't go through listening and learning. So you only want spanning tree enabled out of ports that are trunk ports or ports that connects to a switch. So again,
Oh,
only
yeah.
enable spanning tree out of trunk ports or ports that connects to another switch. Because we've given two reasons. One reason is what? Security, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, because this guy can capture your BPDU information and capture your spanning tree information. Or the other reason would be it's a waste of time, right? And
Yeah.
one thing about today's networks is people don't like delays. People don't like coming to the office and having 10-second delay, talk less of 30 seconds delay. So that's an unnecessary delay. So and we'll come back to where we stopped yesterday. So here's my question to you. So how do I stop spanning tree from advertising out of any port that is connected to a PC? How do I stop this switch now? So I want to say to this switch, you only send BPDUs out of a port that is either a trunk port, that is a trunk port, or a port that is connected to another switch. How do I do that on the switch?
Uh,
What do I need to do that on that switch?
so you're asking about the command I will type.
Yeah, exactly. What do I need
Hmm,
to do?
I don't know.
So,
I didn't
so
know.
yeah, so we'll talk about that. So the reason why we're going through this is because this is what we want to go through in the real world. Spanning tree in the real world. The first thing you want to do is to configure it, right? Configure spanning tree.
Right.
Second thing you want to do is to tune it. And the one that we're discussing now is part of tuning. So part of you, so you configure spanning tree. In other words, you enable spanning tree on all your switches, right? So that's the first
Yeah,
thing
but
you do.
it's enabled by default.
What?
Spanning tree is enabled by default.
By the what?
By default.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, but yeah, you still have to yeah it's on by default, but still you want to make sure you type the command specifically, and we'll get to one of the reasons why later. We'll get to one of the reasons why later. Then number two, after it's configured, you want to tune it, right? So part of tuning
Yeah,
it is saying only send BPD use out, excuse me, out of trunk ports, and that is part of spanning tree tuning. And the way to do that is number one, make sure that all your ports, every single port that goes to a PC is configured as an access port.
yeah,
So configure all ports as all ports that connect to clients servers as access ports. That's the first thing you do. Then number two, enable something called port fast. Have you heard of port fast before?
yeah. But I don't really remember what its function.
Yeah, we'll see what it does
So
now. So you want to enable it out of all access port. So you said we are about port fast. So let's go again. Let's enable this one. So let's go. So this is interface fast 01, right? So let's go uh, switch port mode access, right? Why is it
right?
advisable to manually set this to access? Because you can leave it alone and it will use something called, do you know what it will use to configure it if you don't set it manually? It will use something called DTP, right?
No. So what is DTP?
Yeah, good question. Good question. So what is DTP? So Shahab, can you help me? What is DTP? What is DTP? So let's bring up another paint.
Well, I asked it first.
So let's bring up another paint. DTP. What is DTP?
Okay, if we are going to stray from our topics, there is no
No,
need
no,
to
no,
elaborate on it.
absolutely no. It's part of our topic because we're discussing layer two, right? So we're discussing layer two. So DTP is part of layer two discussion. So what is DTP? So DTP, let's increase this one. Let's make it 18 and let's increase whiteboard. So we have DTP, which stands for Dynamic Trunking Protocol. That's what it stands for. And what does it do?
Okay.
Let's go here. So by default, you bring a switch in, yeah? So this switch by default, you've not configured anything on this switch. You come and
Okay.
take a PC and go take a PC and plug a PC into this port. This switch automatically, without you going to type switch port mode access, this switch will automatically configure this port to be an access port.
Yeah.
So you don't have to do anything, it will automatically configure it to be an access port. And also, if you bring in another switch, yeah, so you get another switch for $3,000 or £3,000, and you take a,
Okay, okay. I know about this dynamic trunk protocol. I just didn't know the naming.
the
I know the
naming, yeah,
feature.
and
The
then you
feature
take
that
this,
it
yeah,
dynamically sets it to the mood. Yeah.
yeah, Then we'll test your knowledge of it now. So and then you take this one and plug it in. It will automatically configure this port as what?
Trunking.
As a trunk, right? Okay.
Yeah.
So is it ever a good idea to use DTP in an infrastructure?
No, it's a bad idea.
Why? Why is it a bad idea? I mean, this thing is, I don't have to do any work. It just do everything automatically for me. So why won't I want to use it in an infrastructure?
I don't remember the reason, but I remember it was a bad idea.
The reason being control. As a network administrator, as an IT administrator, or as a system
Yeah.
administrator, you always want control over your infrastructure. You want to be the one 100% in control of exactly what is going on. You don't
Yeah.
want anything to be happening without you telling it exactly what to happen, because otherwise things can go out of control really quickly. So I remember, do you know of this thing that they call auto negotiation? So you connect this port
Yeah.
to this port, so it will automatically negotiate the speed, right? So
Right.
they will automatically negotiate and say, oh, I can support 100 meg. This one says, oh, I can support 100 meg too. So we'll communicate using 100 meg, right?
Right.
Now, many people will tell you in the real world that you find situations where this one will support 1 gig, when this one will support 1 gig, but they will auto negotiate 10 meg. And then you're wondering,
Yeah. Yeah. This problem happens, but about 95% of the time it goes right.
yeah, yeah, exactly. That's right. But the thing is that the time that it goes wrong, what if it goes wrong for something that is really, really critical? You can get fired
Yeah.
because of that. Your company has a new web server. That is where all your company's money comes from. And then you go and auto configure it. And then they are like, hold on, our customers can't buy our products. We've lost £1 million in 1 hour. And then they find out it's
Yeah.
because you have auto configured something. You're getting fired, right? So it's
Yeah.
never ever a good idea to leave the system to auto configure something for you. You always want to manually go to that's one of the reasons why even though spanning tree is enabled by default, yeah, you still want to manually configure it as an administrator. Otherwise, you won't be able to sleep at night. So you want to always manually do that. So DTP, even though it can auto configure your port, you want to manually go to every port that is an access port and say to it, you're an access port. And you always want to say to every port that is a trunk port and say to the port, you are a trunk port. And of course, there's an easy way to do that. You can use your interface range command, to configure lots of ports at the same time.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you can use that one to configure, but you always want to do that. So back to DTP. So DTP operates a particular way. So, um, for example, let's go back to this one. So let's delete everything. Yeah. So let's bring in a new switch, brand new switch. We have a new switch, and then we have a new computer. Yeah. Okay. Here we go. Have a new computer here. So let's connect this switch and this computer together. So let's let's see what's going on. So show IP interface brief. So here we go. We have yeah, fast Ethernet 01. Okay. So show interface fast Ethernet 01. So if I want to see whether this port is using DTP or not, what do I use? Which command do I use? So I want to
If
see
you want
whether
to
so I want to see whether this port it's using dynamic trunking protocol. What do I use?
Switch port.
Switch ports. Thanks very much for that because many people don't know that, This command, many people don't even know it. So that's really, really nice. So show interface, the interface that you want to see, and then you hand it with the switch port command. And you see something here, administrative mode, dynamic auto.
Yeah,
Yeah, important. And this one, operational mode, static access. So in other words, the administrative mode is dynamic auto. So it has
dynamic
detected,
auto.
yeah, so it has detected that this port is connected to a PC and therefore it has configured it for static access.
Yeah,
So if I go and bring another switch and go, here's another switch, and then bring my crossover cable and then go fast Ethernet 01 to fast Ethernet 02 on this one, and then go back to the switch and then do fast Ethernet 02 this time. And you see, okay, yeah, and look at that. So yeah, I think it's because this is dynamic auto, right? And it has configured this
yeah, but
port as static access. So can you see that? So
the
yeah, well, you wanted to say something. Carry on.
should it be static access or trunk?
But look at it. It says administrative mode here, dynamic auto. So what are the
Yeah,
different administrative modes of DTP? What are the different administrative modes of DTP? What are they?
no, I don't.
You can already see one of them. One of them is dynamic auto, right?
Right.
Yeah. So which other one? Dynamic desirable, right?
Yeah, yeah, dynamic desirable. Yeah,
Yeah. So which other one?
dynamic desirable.
So let's go. So let's go. Because you said you knew DTP, that's why I was testing you. So you have dynamic auto, you have dynamic desirable, you have no negotiate, right?
Right.
Yeah. Okay. So let's go back. Let's go back to do something. So let's go back to the switch. So if I go back to the switch and go Contd interface fast Ethernet 01 switch ports mode dynamic auto. Set trunking dynamic negotiation parameter to auto. Set trunking dynamic negotiation parameter to desirable. So let us do this together. Yeah, are you ready?
Yeah,
Are you ready? Okay, so let's do this. So let's take fast Ethernet 02, which is connected to another switch. That's the one that I want to use. So let's exit. So let's go switch ports mode. Oh, sorry. Interface fast 02. Switch switch ports mode dynamic. So it's already set to dynamic auto, right?
yeah.
Yeah. So let's make it dynamic desirable. Hmm. Yeah. So we've made this one desirable, right? So let's go to this one.
It, it should go trunking after that.
Ah, no, let's see. We'll see. Are you sure that it's going to go trunking? Is that your final answer? Is that your final
Yeah,
answer,
I
Ijao?
think I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, okay, you're pretty sure. Okay, so let's see.
Yeah,
So let's see. So let's set the other one at the other end to auto, yeah? So let's go
yeah,
interface fast is on 01. switch port mode dynamic auto. So now we have dynamic auto here. We have dynamic desirable here, right? Right?
Yeah.
So let's go back. Let's
Yeah.
go show interface fast 01 switch ports. Let's see. So we have dynamic auto and it's set it to a trunk.
See,
So
see, I was right.
yeah,
I,
you're right.
I, I remember this thing. Yeah, I remember.
So you're right. So let's go dynamic auto
Just because I didn't practice CCNA in 3 weeks doesn't mean I forgot everything.
plus dynamic desirable equals what? Trunk, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So what if I say to this one on this side, which we set to desirable, what if I say to this one, you're not desirable, you're auto, what will happen? So what will happen? So we said this one on this side, now you're auto, so they are both auto. So now in this
Yeah.
equation, we have dynamic auto plus dynamic auto. So what would that give us? What do you think it will give us?
Uh, well, it should.
Can you see?
Yeah, it should give trunk as well.
No, it's not wrong. Can you see that?
Yeah, yeah, it's X. Sorry, it's X.
So can you see one of the reasons why you don't want to leave anything automatic on? Because by default we
Yeah,
switched on these switches and by default they are both dynamic auto. Now we have access even though the port is supposed to be a trunk, right?
yeah, right.
Yeah. So that's one of the reasons. So dynamic auto plus dynamic auto. No, we're not talking about this auto. No, let's leave Google alone. Okay, so dynamic auto plus dynamic auto equals access, right? What if we
Yeah,
go dynamic desirable plus um, static um, access? What will happen? So in other words, this one here,
you mean you hard code it to be access?
yeah, exactly. So back to our diagram. So this one is still auto, right? So we
Well,
want to send this one manually to
so it
access.
will be access as well.
Let's see.
Yeah,
Okay, switch port mode access. Okay, so let's see whether Shahab is right. Let's go to switch to, and here we go. Dynamic auto. The other end is access, and we have ourselves access. So you're right. So dynamic auto. So access. What if we have? Oh, sorry, this dynamic auto non desirable. What if we have dynamic desirable plus access?
well, it still be access.
Dynamic desirable plus access. So let's go back. So you're really, really sure that it's still going to be access? So
Yeah,
this access. So let's go and set it at the other hand. Switch to Contd interface 501. Switch port mode dynamic desirable. Enter. And let's see what happens. So let's see. So Shahab says it will be access, right?
yeah.
So let's find out. We'll see whether it's access or not now. Let's wait for that. Hmm, dynamic to disable, static access. So let's go over that again. Yeah, Okay, access.
Yeah.
What about dynamic
Well, yeah, there
desirable?
seems to be some kind of rule governing
Yeah, there is. We talked about
this
that.
control problems. Yeah.
Dynamic desirable plus dynamic desirable. What will happen?
It will be trunk.
Hmm. You sure? You're 100% sure?
Sure, yeah.
So let's go switch port mode, dynamic desirable. Yeah. So that here. And on switch 2, this already dynamic desirable, I think. So let's see what happens. Dynamic desirable plus dynamic desirable. You're really sure it's going to be a trunk?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, it's not. Let's see. Yeah, okay. Trunk. So let's go back here. So dynamic desirable plus dynamic desirable set equals trunk. Okay. So there's another one that we can see on here. So if I go enter, interface fast zero, sorry, Contd interface fast. We can see that on packet tracer. Interface first, um, industrial IP and brief. Okay, yeah. So Ethernet 00. Mm, Ethernet 00. Yeah. Then switch port mode access trunk. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. This switch code is a bit different, so that's why. So there's another option where you can go switch port mode no negotiate. So in other words, you're saying to it, don't negotiate with whatever is on the other side. Don't negotiate with it. So what's the rule with this one? Shahab, what do you think? What's the rule with this one?
The dynamic desirable
Hmm?
sets it to the best option.
Desirable means
When
when you say dynamic desirable, it means basically think of dynamic desirable as this. I desire to be a trunk. That's what
Yeah,
dynamic
yeah,
desirable means.
that's what got to my mind.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
So it means I desire to be a trunk. So if the other hand also is dynamic desirable, the other hand is also I desire to be a trunk, they'll be a trunk together. If the
yeah.
other hand is auto, auto means set me as a trunk. So in other words, okay, auto means auto sorry, auto is not set me as a trunk. Auto is I will set you as a trunk if you allow me. So desirable is I'm willing to become a trunk. Auto is I'm willing to set you as a trunk. Did you get that? So
Well, what I got from this is
yeah,
um,
carry on.
that dynamic desirable has the higher priority over the dynamic auto, and when you hard code it, whether it's X or trunk, it has higher priority than both of them. That's what I got.
Yeah. Apart from like the area of dynamic desirable, has more authority over dynamic auto. Because dynamic auto is basically the one that says, okay, I want to set you as a trunk. Dynamic desirable is the one that says, I'm willing to convert to a trunk.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, okay. Yeah, yeah, yeah. But at least you understand, you remember more what DTP means, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's DTP. So that's one of the reasons. So back to spanning tree now. So that's one of the reasons why we don't want to why we don't want our infrastructure to auto configure itself. Even though spanning tree will automatically it's automatically configured by default, yeah, we still want to go in and manually configure it. So to configure spanning tree,
Yeah.
what command do you use to configure spanning tree? So if I want to configure
Well,
spanning tree on this switch,
spanning tree.
spanning tree, what else?
Well, here's a question mark, and let's see.
No, without the question mark. Come on. Come on.
Spanning tree. Uh, I don't remember.
V,
I actually always had the which yeah VLAN, yeah VLAN one.
exactly. So VLAN, and then you set the VLAN ID that you want to set it for. So
Yeah.
if I enter spanning tree VLAN 1, what did I just do? What I've just done is I've enabled spanning tree for that VLAN, right?
Yeah.
So that's the way to enable spanning tree. I just go spanning tree, the VLAN that I want to enable spanning tree for, and spanning tree is enabled. It's manually coded into it. I'm not relying on something that to do it automatically for me. I've manually done it myself. So that's the first thing you do. The next thing you want to do is to tune it. So in the real world, what you probably want to do is, let's say in the real world, you have this one connecting to this one, right?
Yeah.
This one connecting to this one. So let's say you have a PC here. I think my PCs are going down for some reason. Let's bring them up a bit. So you have a PC here. You have, let's go, multiple PCs. Yeah, you have PCs
Yeah.
everywhere, and they're all connecting to this switch. So we have this one connecting to 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 this one. So we have three, four, five, three, four. So sorry, we have two, three, four, five, six, all connecting to PCs. But look at them, they are all still orange, right?
Yeah.
Why are they still orange? Because they have to go through the spanning tree process, right? Right?
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. So what do I do to disable spanning tree for this port? How do I do that? Because that's part of our tuning. So we want to tune spanning tree. We don't want that whenever a user plugs their PC into the switch, they are going to have to wait for 30 seconds before they get a DHCP address. So what do I do to disable spanning tree for just this port? Why leaving it enabled for this port?
Well, first we we set them to access.
Okay, so let's go and do that. Contd interface fast. Or which command do you recommend I use?
The range command. You
Yep.
use
So
the range.
what's the range command?
Uh, interface. Interface range.
Yep.
Fast Ethernet.
That's it. Interface range. Yeah. Fast Ethernet 02.
0 2 to yeah 06 or 07. I don't remember.
Yeah, 06. Okay. So we have the range command. So to set it to access, of course, I use switch port, right? Switch port
Yeah.
mode access, right?
Mode access.
And they are
Yeah.
access. So how do I now? So now they are all access. What's the next thing I'll do? What's the next thing that I'll do?
Okay. We never took the next step, right?
Yeah. So what's the next step? So here's the command.
um,
Remember this. So is what we'll discuss next. Spanning tree
yeah,
port
yeah.
fast.
Via port fast.
Port fast. Did you see that? Enable port
Yeah,
fast by default on all access ports. So that's one way to do it. I can go
yeah,
spanning tree, port fast, default, and every port on this switch that is an access port, port fast will be enabled on them. Now, what is port fast? What does port fast do? What is port fast?
as I remember correctly, it tells the switch that this is not connected to another switch. This port is not connected to another switch.
Let's see. Port fast. So even Symantec is given tutorials on port fast. It's amazing. Let's go for Cisco. Let's just forget Symantec. So the port fast. Yeah. So port fast. So let me expand this one so we can see. So it says here, it says port fast causes a switch or trunk port to enter the spanning tree forwarding state immediately, bypassing the listening and learning states. Now, did you see that? Port fast actually
Yeah,
it doesn't disable spanning tree.
no, it doesn't. It bypasses the listening and learning
Exactly.
states.
So it just goes instead of you going through 15 seconds listening, 15 seconds learning, it's like to I'll put you straight to forwarding mode, you know, because I know I will never hear BPDU out of this port.
Yeah.
So what do you think will happen in a situation if I use port fast on this port that is connected to this switch?
Well, we'll use the port fast to the port connected to the client, not the another switch.
Yeah. So what if I use port fast on a port that is connected to a switch? What will happen?
Well, if it won't wait for 30 seconds
So
as it
let's see.
always do. It will just,
So we said one thing. We said one way that we can configure this is to go spanning tree port fast default, right? That will enable port fast
yeah,
by default on non-access port. And what that would do is it will cause all the access ports to go straight to forwarding. They won't go through listening and learning. Another way that we can do that is we can do that by interface. So if I go interface fast Ethernet 02, for example, I can go spanning tree port fast. So did you see?
yeah,
Yeah. So I can go spanning tree port fast. So I can do it either on the switch level or on the interface level. So if I do it on the switch level, it will enable port fast for all the ports that are access ports. If I do it on the interface level, it will enable port fast for only this switch. Sorry, for only this port.
no, 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 please say this point again.
So,
Hi.
so if I go back to this one, so let's go slowly, port fast. There are two ways to enable port fast. Two ways. So number
Yeah,
one, on the switch level. So what this will do is enables port fast on all access ports, right?
right.
And the command to do that is what? From the config mode, you go spanning tree, right?
Spank 3 port fast, yeah.
Port fast
Default.
default. And then number two is on the interface level. In other words, you can do it for one interface at a time.
Yeah.
And the command to do that is,
Yeah.
yeah, you get it now, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So now if I go back to this one,
So David, assume we have this situation. We have uh, three switches
hmm,
uh, connected to each other. So we have a loop, okay?
yeah,
Um, and we set one of the interfaces in these switches to a port fast.
yeah,
Only one of them.
yeah.
So does this mean it won't detect the loop, or it will still detect this loop?
Let's see. Actually, let's try that. We can. The good thing about all these things is that we can try them out, right?
Yeah.
So that's the good thing about them. So let's go Cisco Packet Tracer and let's go our three switches. So that's one of the reasons why we have labs in in the environment.
Yeah, yeah,
So let's go to not generic one, this one. And then we have three. So we have three switches. Let's just connect
yeah,
them with crossover cables. So this one is connecting to this one. Let's go. This one connecting to this one connecting to this one. So we have fast Ethernet 1 and 2 on all the switches. So
yeah.
let's go. mm, well, switch. Oh, okay. There's no need to give it a host name. Let's just go straight to what we want to practice. So if we go um, interface fast 0, 1, 0,
Zero
1.
one.
Yeah, 0, 1. So let's go spanning tree. Again, if you want to do it on an interface basis, spanning tree, no, spanning tree port fast. It says port fast. Now look at this. Warning. Port fast should only be enabled on ports connected to a single host. Connecting hubs, concentrator switches, bridges to this interface when port fast is enabled can cause, did you see?
Yeah.
So it says can cause
So
temporary bridging loops. Port fast has been configured on fast 01, but we only have effect when the interface is in a non-trunking mode. In other words, if this interface happens to be a an access port, even though I use this command, it won't have any effect. It says port fast will have been configured on this interface, but it will only have effect when the interface is in a non-trunking mode. So
if these switches are in the dynamic desirable mode, so they will be in trunk mode. The port fast command will have no effect, right?
yeah, exactly. So if they're in trunk mode, it will have no effect. So show interface fast Ethernet switch ports. So let's see. So this actually says it's in access mode. Remember, they are both dynamic auto. So dynamic auto to dynamic
Yeah.
auto equals access. So this command will have an effect.
Yeah,
But if I go conf t interface fast 01, actually it won't have an effect except you manually set it to access. If you don't manually set it to access, it won't have an effect. If you use dynamic, if you use DTP, it won't have an effect. So now that command should not have an effect. Hmm, let's see, show one, spanning tree port first. So let's go. So fast Ethernet 01, right?
yeah.
That's one. So let's delete this link and let's plug it back in. Yeah, we'll delete the link. Then we'll take this one and then go plug it back in. And then let's go and see what happens. I think it's having an effect, right? Do you think so? I think it's having an effect. If I go Contd, let's go sorry, interface fast 01, switch ports, mode, trunk. Yeah. So let's set it as trunk.
Okay.
So manual trunk. And then let's go spanning tree port fast. But we only have effect when the interface is in a non-trunking mode. So if I go and let's close this. Let's delete this again. Let's connect it again. Again, let's remember, like, actually, let's use this one because um because the thing with view, yeah, okay. So let's use this one. So let's go to switch one E00. So let's go switch one, conft interface Ethernet 00, spanning tree port fast when it's in a non-trunking mode. So if I hand this and do show interface E00, so show interface E00, and then like 00. Yeah,
Okay,
okay.
okay, David. We can try it in our time.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Switch port. Yeah, okay. Let's see. So dynamic desirable operational mode is trunk, and let's see. So if I go show spanning tree, yeah, I think it's something that we need to test in our own time and read a bit more
Yeah.
on. Yeah. Okay. So back from that one. So that's the way to so we have to tune spanning tree, we said. So part of tuning in is configuring port fast, which doesn't disable spanning tree, but it will set spanning tree to go straight into forwarding without going through listening and learning. So that's one way to tune
Yeah.
spanning tree. So which other way do you think we need to tune spanning tree in an infrastructure?
No, I don't really quite understand your question.
So we said in the real world, there are things when you're configuring spanning trees, there are things that you have to do. Number one, you have to configure spanning tree, right? Number two,
Right?
you have to tune it, right?
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
just you can't just configure spanning tree and leave it alone. You can't just go spanning tree VLAN one, bye bye. You know, that will mess up your infrastructure because you want to be the one to
Yeah.
manually select your root bridge. You don't want spanning tree to decide your root bridge by itself.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah, so you want to be the one to manually tune spanning tree by yourself. And then the third thing you want to do is you want to protect spanning tree. What do you think? What do you mean? We mean by when we say protect spanning tree? What do we mean?
Well, we just mentioned the security problem.
Actually, we're not referring to that. By protection, we're talking about something different. So you have to protect spanning tree. So think about a situation like this, a situation where you have copy image, and let's expand the whiteboard, where we have a switch in our infrastructure. Actually, so let's go Control C, Control V. Okay. So we have a spanning tree topology, very set up properly. So we have a distribution and core switch here. We have our access switches here.
Yeah.
And let's say, so we'll come back to how the election process maybe some other time, but let's just run through the protection of spanning tree. So let's say this one, the priority, what's the default priority on every switch of spanning tree?
Yeah, I don't remember actually.
32768, right? And let's say the MAC address is OOA.
Okay.
So then we have this one. Default priority is 32768. MAC address is OOB. And this one is 32768. And MAC address is OOC. Now, which one will be our root bridge?
The C one.
Why will it be C?
Well, it has the lowest MAC since all of them have the same priority.
C doesn't have the lowest mark. A, B, C. A,
Ah, okay,
yeah,
okay. I'm sorry, sorry.
no, it's
It's
fine.
A. A.
Yeah. So we have A. So A will be the root bridge, right?
Yeah.
So now we've configured everything. We're satisfied. All our traffics are going, properly between themselves. We have no troubles. We have no issue. We're sleeping at night. You know, what
Yeah.
stops what stops our little user here? Maybe somebody just gave him a Cisco switch. He's like, wow, I'll bring this thing to the office, this little Cisco
Yeah.
switch, and just put it under my desk and just connect it to the switch port. It doesn't know what's going on. It just connects this to the switch port. And this one happens to be 32768.001. So what will happen?
It will become the root.
Exactly. Instantly, this one will advertise and say
Yeah,
to this
yeah. I
one,
now get what you're So you, by protecting your thing, you have to set the priority right,
not,
so
not, not,
the root doesn't change every time.
not even that, because that is part of configuring and tuning. By protection, we mean we don't want our user to be able to bring a switch, plug it into the network, and it's going to affect anything. We don't want that type of a situation. So how do we protect spanning tree from doing something like that?
Uh,
Have you ever heard of
well,
these things before?
even this handled by port security.
Have you ever heard this before? BPDU guard, root guard. Have you ever heard this before?
I heard about it, but I don't remember what it was about.
Protecting spanning tree. So BPDU guard is something that you can configure on these ports. Yeah. So you know that this port, a switch should not be connecting to them, a PC should be connecting to them, right? So you
Yeah,
can configure something on them called BPDU guard. In other words, what you're saying to the switch is be on guard against BPDU. In other words, if you ever, let me capitalize the word ever, if you ever receive a BPDU from this port, shut it down.
yeah.
You never
I
want
remember now.
you never want an infrastructure, you never want to be an administrator where you've configured spanning tree, you've taken your time to tune spanning tree so that you have the correct root bridge, and everything like that. You've tuned it. You never want to do it without configuring BPDU guard or root guard. So you have to protect your spanning tree network from intruders or from someone bringing in another switch that maybe has a better priority. Because even if you set your priority here, you come here, you set your priority here to 0. So you go, okay, um, I'm gonna get, I'm gonna configure this one as 0 to make sure that this is always the root bridge, right?
Yeah.
What stops a user from bringing in a switch that also has a priority of 0 and the MAC address is 001? Which one will become the root bridge?
It will become the root bridge.
Exactly. Because even though you have the lowest priority possible, it still has a lower MAC address than your root bridge. So the only way to
Yeah.
properly protect your spanning tree topology, your spanning tree infrastructure, is to configure BPDU guard and root guard. BPDU guard means if anything comes on, plugs into this switch and sends a BPDU, the moment you receive a BPDU, shut it down. So if I go back to this one and say enable interface, sorry, let's go Contd interface fast Ethernet 02 spanning tree. Can you see that?
Yeah. The goal. Yeah,
Don't
I see the goal.
accept BPDUs on this interface. So let's do something. So spanning tree BPDU guard. Yeah,
Yeah.
BPDU guard enable. Yeah, so we've enabled BPDU guard on interface 02, right? Fast Ethernet
Yeah.
02. So let's go to Fast Ethernet 02 and let's delete this one. So let's delete the PC and the link. So let's be a dodgy user and let's bring in a switch. So here's our user. The guy just got a little, maybe link C switch, but that link C switch supports spanning tree. And you go,
Well, we have set the interface to the port fast. Remember,
to port fast.
we have already set it to port fast.
We set it to access. Did we enable port fast on this one already? And show, no, I don't think we enabled port fast yet. No. But
Uh,
that is one other thing for us to read about and investigate. What will be the real effect of PodFast? Because even I don't really understand it like in details what the full effect will be. I know what it does, but I don't know what the full effect of PodFast is.
yeah, it
Yeah,
needs some reading.
yeah. So let me get a crossover cable and let's go here. Fast Ethernet 01. Let's connect to the Fast Ethernet 02 here. Okay, let's go.
Yeah,
Mm, see what happens. Show IP interface brief fast Ethernet 02 mono down machine. Let's go show. Look at this. Fast Ethernet 02 is down. Line protocol is down. Look at this. Error disabled.
yeah.
In other words,
What
this
is error disabled?
error disabled occurs when a switch port has violated a restriction that you set. So we've set a restriction to say, don't allow BPDU on this interface. Someone has connected a
Yeah.
device that sends BPDU on that interface. The switch is, I'm disabling this because it has violated a restriction.
Yeah.
So it's going to be the same way if you configure port security. You say, only one MAC address is allowed, and somebody plugged in something with another MAC address, it will get error disabled. And the only way to enable this one is to, how do I enable that switch port on switch 2? Interface fast 02. The only way to enable it is to disable it first. Will they allow me to disable it? Or if there's no disable command on this one? Maybe there's no disable command. Maybe there's no enable command either. Oh, packet tracer. Don't you like packet tracer? Because sometimes, yeah, that's like one thing with packet tracer, like interface E00. Uh, hmm. So there's no enable or disable command.
Yeah. So
So how to
the
enable
packet
it then?
tracer is innocent.
It is indeed innocent. So how do we enable it? If I want to enable that switch port, how do I do it? Is there a command? So if I go exit,
Can you even enable it while the PVDU guard is enabled?
what? No, because what I wanted to do is to demonstrate, like, if I enable it, it will receive another BPDU and it will shut it down again.
Ah,
Yeah, but the thing is, how to enable? Let's go switch port, switch port. So what command does it recognize then? Hmm. Let's see. Enable Cisco switch path. Hmm. Oh, 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 sorry. I forgot completely. Do you know what I forgot? It's not enable. You know
yeah,
what? You know what I'm doing? Did I tell you what happened to me? In
yeah.
if you go to enable switch path blockade. So we use blockade where I work. Blockade uses the command enable
Mm.
and disable when you want to enable and disable a switch port. But Cisco doesn't use enable and disable. Cisco uses no shutdown. Do you remember?
Cisco is what?
No shutdown.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah,
So I was thinking blockade, because on blockade switches we use enable and we use disable where I work. So it's not enable and disable, it's no shutdown. So look at this. So interface fast and 02, no shutdown. Look at this. Instantly it changed states to down again. Because
yeah,
what happened is I enabled it, it received the BPDU, it shut it down instantly.
yeah.
Another command I can use to protect it is if I do no spanning tree BPDU guard. Yeah, so I've disabled BPDU guard, right? So then if I go no shutdown, or if I go spanning,
Well, will you enable the PDU guard on the other switch, right?
yeah, disable. Okay, now I think maybe I need to use this command. Then go no shut. So if I go to show interface fast 02.
Well, if you want to,
Oh, okay, hold on. I think let's go. let's go shut down first. Yeah, and go no shut. Oh, okay. So we have to do shut no shut. If it's ever disabled, you have to do shut no shut. So then,
For what? You have to do shut no shut for what?
yeah, so you have to shut it down first and then do no shutdown. So if it is ever disabled, you have to do no shutdown first and then do shutdown. Sorry, shutdown, then no shutdown. So you have to shut it down and then do no shutdown. Did you get it?
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So let me go do show interface fast 02 now, and then yeah, there we go. It's up. Yeah. Another command that we can use to protect um our spanning tree topology is this one called root guard. And root guard works a bit differently than BPDU guard. So BPDU guard is I don't care what this switch is saying. Is if anything sends BPDU and you receive and you receive a BPDU on this port, shut it down. Root guard says, well, I really don't care about BPDU, you know? If a switch sends a BPDU, okay, it's okay. But if a switch sends a BPDU claiming to be the root bridge,
Ah.
shut it
Yeah.
down. So in other words, I'm guarding my root bridge. I'm guarding my root
So
bridge. I don't want anything to take over that root bridge role.
so root guard is at this level of security, right?
Yeah, it's also security. So to enable root guard, you go spanning tree, I think guard root. Yeah, guard root. So now we still have a switch connected to this, yeah, but guard
Yeah.
root is not disabling the port. It's like, yeah, I'll let you do whatever you want to do. But let's go to this switch now, this one, and let's go enable conft. Now let's go spanning tree VLAN one priority, right? Is zero. So when we set priority to zero, it will try to become the root bridge, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So priority zero, enter. Look at that. Did you see that? Did you see the orange button, the orange sign? Did you
Y-
notice the
y-
orange on this switch?
yeah.
Yeah. So did you see that? So instantly, you see, moved to root inconsistent state. See, spanning tree, root guard block.
Yeah. But it didn't shut it down.
I know it shut it down already. So if I go do show interface, it should be, let's go. What is it? Do show interface fast 02. It didn't shut it down. Did it not? Let's do, okay. Oh, hold on. It didn't shut it down. That's true. So I thought root guard was supposed to become, okay, s- move to root inconsistent state. What does this mean? Spanning tree root guard block. Port 02 try to become non-designated in VLAN 1. Root inconsistent state. But hold on. So what? But look at this. It's showing us orange here, right?
Yeah.
So what does it mean by that? Root inconsistent. It's something that you know about. So let's do paste and search. Root guard. Let's see what it means. So let's do control F. Okay. So this message appears after root guard block support. Oh, okay, look at this. So it doesn't actually shut it down, but it doesn't allow any
Yeah.
traffic to pass through it. So it says there, it says um, root guard puts the port in the root inconsistent STP state no traffic passes through the port in this state. So recovery is,
So
yeah. So it says recovery is
so what
automatic.
what is different from shutting it down?
So the difference is for shutting it. If you shut it down, as an administrator, you have to manually come in and type shut down, no shut down to re-enable it. But this one,
Yeah.
the moment the port stop advertising itself to have a superior priority, it says recovery is automatic. So in other words, if I go back to our lab at this one and go back to this switch and set the priority not to 0 to, let's say, 61,
Yes.
okay, 61440. You don't have to manually go and enable it. It will enable it by itself. What's it doing? Uh-oh.
Uh,
What are you doing? Come back. Let's zoom out. It's gone. Packet tracer, what are you doing? Okay, let, let's. It's not even giving me the option to even see. See the device at the top. It's like I'm taking. Okay, let's see if we can.
so make the undo, undo the command, undo.
Oh, is it? Can we? Oh, okay, yeah, good one. But now even this one is looking
Yeah.
a bit funny. Okay, let's go. Yeah, okay, nice one. Thanks very much for that. So yeah, you see that it automatically re-enabled that port. Did you notice?
Yeah.
So the moment the port, so if you go back to that explanation by from Cisco, the moment the port stops advertising itself as the root, I will let you to start passing traffic again. So it says recovery is automatic, no human intervention is necessary. If you use BPDU guard, it will shut the port down, put it in error disabled, and you have to manually re-enable it using
Yeah.
short and no short. But this one, it won't disable it, it just puts it in a root inconsistent state. And then once it stops advertising itself as the root, it's like I will allow you um, to start passing traffic again. So it says recovery is automatic, no human intervention is necessary.
Yeah.
Yeah. So did you get that? Did you get that in terms of protecting spanning
Yeah.
tree?
Yeah. I get that.
Yeah. So those are the things because these are the three things that I want us to remember. Because when you're working in the real world, first thing you have to configure your spanning tree. Yeah. You configure the spanning tree for the VLAN. Then number two, you have to tune it. I think we'll talk about tune next time that we'll talk. So when you want to tune it, you have to
Yeah.
tune the location of the root bridge, right?
Yeah.
That's part of tuning it. Part of tuning it is setting access ports. What do you want to set access ports with?
Yeah. To the
Port
clients
fast.
and servers.
Yeah. You want to set it to port fast, right? Access port.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's part of tuning spanning tree because so as not to waste, time going through learning and listening and all that stuff. You just go straight to forwarding for access port. So that's you want to use that to tune spanning tree. Then after that, you have to protect spanning tree. You can use what can you use to protect spanning tree?
Yeah. So use the PVDU guard and the root guard.
Good one. BPDU guard and root guard. So those are the things. So the ones that we'll probably talk about next time is we'll talk about this one about the tuning. How you can tune spanning tree in
Yeah.
the infrastructure. So yeah, I think that's it for today. We'll probably stop for today.
Yeah.
It's fun, right? I think I enjoy it. Like I learned a lot of things today. I've forgotten myself.
But actually, David, you are good. You are very good at explaining things.
Ah, no,
Really. Uh,
no. No, no problems, man. Because it's like the desire, like lots of people try to make things look complicated. I don't believe anything is complicated. Like everything is easy.
Well, actually, I should try. I should learn from you some presentation skills.
No, no,
Uh,
I don't
I
think
will need them. I will need them next year.
I don't think
Yeah,
I mean, I don't think it's presentation skills, but no, no problems. Anything I can do to help. So like this one, I'm just like because this way, this is one of the reasons why I decided to start doing the hangout because I not only get to like explain and all that, but I also get to learn in the process because
yeah,
many things that I've probably forgotten or many things I even don't know. So when we are doing them out in the lab like this, we're like, okay, yeah, this is the way this one works. Okay, this one doesn't work that way. So we all learn, we all become better in what we are doing. So which is
yeah.
the goal? Yeah.
So when are you going to post the videos?
Okay. Actually, expect them tomorrow because I've been trying to edit the ones that I've recorded in the past. So expect them tomorrow. So I'll start
Yeah.
editing them again today. So expect them tomorrow evening also. Yeah.
Okay.
So what I'll do is I'll also post.
I'm looking forward to our next hangout.
Yeah. Nice one. Yeah. So I'll also post the next topics for next week. I'll post them so we can carry on and all that. So topics for next
Okay.
week. So let's still carry on with layer two. So let's read layer two some more. So I think after next week we should just finish everything layer two next week. So we can move on
Yeah.
to routing and all that. Yeah. Okay, man. Nice hanging out with you, Shahab. So
Yeah. Same here. Nice.
yeah. So you have a wonderful night rest.
So goodbye for now.
Yeah, no problem. Yeah, see you later. Yeah, bye bye.
Yeah. See you again.
Yeah.
Bye.